Hello and good evening. It is 3 minutes to 8 on Tuesday the 19th. We come on the tail of a win, Dan. And what a win it was. What a great start to the season and what a way to get top of the league. What's your thoughts on the game, buddy?
It was superb. Absolutely superb. All the worry about coming into this season was just washed away in one game. Every player, bar Doku, was superb. They all gelled, the new signings, everything. Literally, there is nothing wrong with that team at the weekend. Even the players that came on, players that came off were not exactly happy to come off. It was always like they've got a new desire to play constantly now. And just everything flowed, everything gelled. Tijjani Reijnders, keep calling him bloody reindeer. He was superb, absolutely superb. Trafford, superb. Cherki, good goal. He came on. Gonzalez, I know we signed him in January, but Christ, he was like a new signing. It's exciting. I've never been this buzzing for a season to proper get on the way in ages.
It just worked, didn't it? And let's come on to a couple of highlights that you've raised there. We'll call him Reindeer for the sake of this, because my 13-year-old son will definitely like calling him Reindeer. So, debut game. Debut appearance in the Premier League, a standout performance. Everyone's scrambling over it to get him into the fantasy football team because they know him and Haaland are going to be linking up brilliantly like jam and peanut butter. Cannot wait. And obviously assist for Haaland's strike as well. But Cherki capped off a goal as well, which was great to see him marking his debut that way. But Trafford, let's talk about our goalkeeping situation because there's still smoke. I mean, no one was really buying that Ederson was ill over this weekend, were we? Really? Is anyone buying that? I don't really get that. I think Donnarumma's on course to becoming our number one, whether you like it or not, Daniel. Sorry, pal. And people are saying, Trafford kept a clean sheet, and it wasn't just me that's what the last 10 minutes of that game thinking, do not want them to score. This is a cracky. If we can carry on keeping this 4-0, I just kept thinking they were going to score. Old City was creeping back into my bones, but let's face it, he marked his debut with a clean sheet, and he did really well. I thought it was great. He was no nonsense as well. There was some opportunities and some good passes as well, I'd like to add. Some really good passes. And I think he did a semi-assist for one of our goals as well, which is great. But what's your thoughts on the Trafford, Ederson, Donnarumma threesome that's kicking around at the moment?
Dick Bettinelli in, Christ. It gives us all a headache, this. No, you know my thoughts. I rate Donnarumma, I really do. But Trafford is 22 years of age. He is English. He's already proven in England. We already know what a great goalkeeper he is at his young age. I love Donnarumma. I get the big name signing. But Ederson's on his way out. We all knew Ederson wasn't going to be in the squad when he's being linked with Galatasaray. I think it's 12 to 15 million or something like that, which is nothing for a goalkeeper of 31, 32 years of age, but is what it is. But to go back to Trafford's performance, it's been a long time since I've seen us have a goalkeeper that commands that back line. I think the only one that's come close to since Joe Hart was Willy Caballero. Just someone that if the ball was going towards him, it was going to get saved. And he wasn't shy to come claim balls. Mm-hmm. I remember one in the second half. I can't remember who it was for Wolves going through, but they were one-on-one, and the ball was sort of in no man's land. And Ederson of old would have either just gone and booted it or tried to do some weird skill with the ball, which 9 times out of 10 worked out. But we always felt a little bit, get rid of the flipping ball, man. Trafford just dived in there, both hands on it, claimed, ready, kicked it off straight away. And he was instrumental. I cannot fault anything Trafford did that game.
And I think there's a lot of people saying it's going to be really unfair for him to be given this opportunity but not be able to see it through as well. I mean, what's your gut feeling around it? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think Donnarumma's coming in?
I hope not. Like I say, I get people's ideas and thoughts of Donnarumma because he is a big money and big name signing, and he is a great goal. He's a world-class goalkeeper. Let's not deny that. But we've already got 3 goalkeepers. Unless Ortega goes, then yeah, you could argue the toss about getting another goalkeeper in. But we've already got, in my view, a first-choice goalkeeper. And what's he going to say to Trafford? He's 22. Donnarumma's 26, 27. Trafford's come in, taking the number 1 jersey. Donnarumma comes in. Nope, fine, get lost. He's going to feel bad for the kid.
But Trafford's got to know he's not going to walk into this team and be number 1 overnight. He's got to work for this. We can't just give him something. And as well, we use 2 goalkeepers, don't we? We have a number 1 for the Premier League and the Champions League, and we have a number 2 for everything else, basically. For me, Trafford is the number 2 slot, the natural position, and then obviously, hopefully, he'll start working his way up. Don't get me wrong, I want to see him be number 1. Nothing would make me better than having England keeper as number. He is English, isn't he? I'm sure he's English. Yeah, he is English. Nothing would make me better than to have a City graduate as England's number 1 and the City's number 1. I think that'd be fantastic. But I think the prospect of getting Donnarumma, who's been there, done that, won everything. I'm genuinely excited by the idea. But I think time will tell. We've got a couple of weeks left of the transfer window yet, haven't we? So we'll see how we get on.
I have to admit, I disagree with almost everything you said then.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think Trafford has the mentality that he's walked into that team at the weekend and just literally said to everyone, "This is my spot. That I don't care what happens. I don't care if people think it's only Wolves. It's only 1 game." The way he played, the way he acted, the way he just sort of just scurried into the lineup and scurried into the team. Coming back of the season, he had the record number of clean sheets. Granted, it was a championship, but everyone says the championship's the hardest league in the world. There is no doubt in my mind, Trafford in his head is thinking, this is my spot. If Donnarumma's coming in, I have to have a bad game for him to keep me off my spot, because there's no way that lad's getting my
well, let's see what happens. Let's put a poll out. I'll be really interested in that. But anyone that's watching this, make a comment below to what you think. Who's going to be, if Donnarumma does come in, who would you prefer to have as number 1? I think I know what the answer is. Right, let's move on. Haaland's scoring run continues. He's maintained his perfect record for opening day fixtures. 2 goals, 34th and 61st minute. Really, really chuffed with that. I think it's a big sign for the whole of the Premier League. Is Haaland back and busting and ready to go? He looked fit. He looked fast. He looks like he's got a little bit of pace on him as well from what I noticed compared to last season. Well, I might be wrong in thinking that, but what's your thoughts on our Hurl?
I don't think he ever went. I think it was just he is arguably the best pinpoint striker in the world, but every striker's got to have service. He's not an all-round great footballer, but he is a perfect striker. But you look at everyone last season. No one had a great season last year. But Haaland still got, mid-20s? That is still a hell of a feat for a striker in a team that's playing crap, basically, for pre-watershed terms. This season, the link-up that we saw with Reijnders, he never went away. The way he looked, I completely agree. He looked almost channeled. He looked more focused than ever. Who knows? Maybe it's the captaincy that Pep's given him. He's sort of like a vice captain. Maybe it's the new role he's looking to play, because he definitely looked like he carried the ball a lot more at the weekend, I thought.
Interesting. Let's while we're talking about carrying the ball, let's move on to a couple of different areas of the squad. I'll start in defence. It was so nice to see Diaz and Stones start. That is the perfect pairing for me at the back. Nouri looked great. He looked really good. I think he got an assist as well, which was brilliant. Another brilliant signing for us, and I think he did well against his former side as well. So he'll obviously be really chuffed with that, I would think. Bit of a shout out for Rico Lewis. So excited to see him play. He just looks like he belongs there, which for a player of his age and where he's come from, I think that's fantastic to see. But it was so nice to see Oscar Bob start. Genuinely wasn't expected to see Oscar Bob start, and I loved him before he broke his leg. So to see him come through, he just impressed. He controlled. His energy was fantastic, and for such a young head, him and Rico equally, for such young heads to come in and be so impressive as they were for me. I think we've got nothing but positivity to say about them at the moment.
Yeah. I can't not really add any more to that, because you summed it up. Oscar Bob is like a new signing again. He had an awful injury record last season, and I think he's still only 22. He's still relatively young, But going back to Rico as well, I go back to what I said about last season. Nobody played well last season, and for me, it was undeserved that Rico got most of the flack last year because everyone was crap last year. But Rico, for some reason, just came into it more. We've got to remember he's 19. Last season was 18. He got everything, both barrels from every side of the fan, everywhere. He just got it. He couldn't do a right thing from a wrong thing. Now, in a team that looks gelled, have we just found our Kyle Walker replacement? And is this the season that he really drives and make that place his own?
There was a reason we didn't really go heavily into the market, I think, for that. And Pep's made his mind up. He doesn't need to. It's like buying a striker. There's no need to. We got Haaland, and I saw from Nico in that performance that Pep's well and truly made his mind up in that spot, and he's the man to knock off. So yeah, brilliant for me. Really, really, really impressed. And what I was also equally impressed with was the tifo thing the Wolves fans did for Jota. That they were obviously celebrating. I think that was amazing. That was really good. I was so impressed. And they were singing. I don't know if you noticed it. I don't know if you heard the last 10 minutes. But the Wolves fans were singing his name for 10 minutes, probably longer, towards the end. 4-0 down, stood on the feet, cheering, clapping, singing his name. I thought the Wolves fans were magnificent. I like Wolves as a fan base. And I think it was really, really, really... Although it was a dominant performance by City, it was a really poignant moment for Wolves. So a big well done for how they handled that. I thought it worked really well, and fair play to them, because there's obviously a lot of emotional people in that audience as well, wasn't there? There's a few ex Portugal players in the surroundings, and I think I don't know if it was his partner there as well. I kind of the camera kept panning to a family area, and it looked could have been his wife. So I'm not sure if it was or not, but they were brilliant. I thought Wolves.
The family, from what I believe, were at Liverpool, so
right,
it wouldn't surprise me if they did come down to Wolves. But yeah, I echo everything you just said there. And Wolves as a fan base, they are a nice club. I do like Wolves. They've come from nothing. They're an established Premier League team, and yeah, they do treat any player that's been in their dressing room over the years as one of their own. And we've got to remember that, rivalries aside, two lads have lost their lives, two footballers. It's still a community. If they came to our club, we'd love them just the same as any other fan base loves them as a past. And yeah, just seeing all the fans come together, like you say, 4-0 down, singing Jota's name, just everybody. I mean, we've got to also remember that Bernardo Silva and Diaz were teammates who were good friends with him. So seeing them two at the end, especially Diaz literally was almost Salah-esque. He was just staring into the crowd. Just, you could see the emotion in him, and it was almost obviously tragic circumstances, but it was almost like a, one for a better word, feel-good moment for football.
Yeah, I like that, and we won't talk about that too much. And I want to talk about for a very brief moment about the tactics that Pep brought out. And I thought, we had a really high energy build up. I felt a little bit like we'd loosened up our pressing. Penny's trying to get in shot. We loosened up our pressing in the second half a little bit. I feel like do you feel like we took our foot off the gas a bit in the second half? Is that an area we should be concerned about? Probably not, but what's your thoughts?
To be fair, I thought we were well rounded all game. The one thing I did like, which is new for us, our defensive offside line, and Diaz has a big part to play this. I've never seen us play for offsides so much and they've come off, but seeing Diaz as the focal point, that back line, I mean, in the first half I think they had 3 offsides, and Diaz was literally commanding that line. You could see him when the ball was being played, he was there pointing to it, shouting, everyone get forward, and they played the offside perfectly. But straight from that defensive and tick-attack or all that, we were fast, and I've been calling for it all summer. We've got these players that can do it, charge at teams, and it looks like Pep has finally taken on my advice.
He's got your number, mate. He needs to be calling you. We all know this. Let's move on to Saturday. So the 12:30 kickoff. And I hate the early kickoffs. Hate the early kickoffs. Some days I love them, some days I hate them. It's just not going to work for me this Saturday. But I'll definitely be going. And first plays second, by the way, because Spurs are chasing our tail for that top spot. But listen, I thought Spurs had a really good game the other day. I thought they did well. I'm a little bit. I hate Spurs so much, and I don't know why, but I genuinely do. So I really want to beat them. Obviously, first game at home. But they're looking dangerous. They've got a goal in them, and we'll go on to our predictions in a moment. But what's your thoughts ahead of the Spurs game?
To be fair, Spurs are looking good. To be frank, sorry, I had to get that in there somewhere. But it's Spurs, isn't it? I get why you hate them, because I can't stand them myself. It's sort of a fixture we wanted to get out of the way sooner rather than a few games into the season. Get them out of the way. They're a tricky side. They're a little bit of a bogey side for us. They have been ever since, all the way back from that Peter Crouch header that knocked them into the Champions League and knocked us out back in 2010. That's how much I hate Spurs. I remember that game. I think most City fans do. But this early on, to get them out of there, out of the way, home game, blitz them, stay top of the league, kick them back into touch, bring it on.
So we're going into this after a 4-0 win. Spurs going into this after a 3-0 win against Burnley. Richarlison's looking dangerous. I always liked him as a striker. He's always one of those players that you don't want to play against, but you want him on your team. Obviously, they've placed Postecoglou for Thomas Frank, which I think is a cracking move for them. They've lost Son, who was always a nightmare for us, but they've made a couple of really good acquisitions. And the Spurs game itself, historically a goal-heavy fixture. So we need to kind of bring into the idea of, actually, you know what, if we can keep a clean sheet, I think we can score. And I think if we can score, and if we can keep a clean sheet, put it this way, the team that keeps a clean sheet on this game is going to win this match. I know it sounds like, is that a bit of a Michael Owen phrase, but I'm pretty sure that both teams have got the chance of scoring. But I think City have got the greater chance of keeping a clean sheet, which pegs me for a City win of this game. And we'll come on to the fixtures in a moment. So for me, it's a real toughie. I hate Spurs so much, and I really, really want to beat them, not just because I'm a City fan, but I'm expecting a real high energy, real attacking contest. I think we'll dominate the ball, we'll dominate possession. I think Spurs have got a new system under Thomas Frank, which could make it really competitive. Prediction wise, City going to win. I'm going to go for 2-1. 2-1 City. What's your thoughts, Daniel?
Well, I said last week that we were going to beat Wolves 5-0 and they only scored 4, so they've let me down a little bit. But I'm going to go for a steady... Do you know what? Sorry, I'm going to go 4-0. I think we'll batter Spurs.
4-0. Oh, pal.
I genuinely, that's not just one of my natural buildings wired predictions, whatever. I genuinely think Spurs are overrated from what people are saying. Frank's come in and showed them up. Let's not forget they were 2-0 up against PSG with like 75 minutes played and they squandered that, didn't they? They're not. Granted, it's PSG before anyone jumps down my throat.
Well, that's a restrained prediction for you, because if it doesn't start with a 7, it's not right. So I'm going to have to ask if you're okay, pal, to be honest with you. But listen, let's face it. You predict against Wolves. You predicted 5-0. It was 4-0. So you take the win on that one. So it's 1-0 to Daniel at the moment. I'm going for 2-1. You're going for 4-0. I'd be happy with a win. I'd be happy with a win off Haaland's arse cheek, 1-0, as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't care. I hate Spurs. I really want to beat them. So let's see how we get on. What do you think, Penny? Yeah, she thinks we'll win as well. She's got 4 paws. She'll be happy with that. Right, we'll leave it there. We'll move on. Anything else to add before we shout off?
No, just great to be back. Great to be back. The football season's back, man. And yeah, I've not been this excited for a season in donkey's years. Maybe that's a bit cheeky saying the amount of trophies we've won over the past few years, but I know especially after the last season, everyone wants a bit of an up. It's
a bit barren, isn't it? We need to win at least 2 trophies this season to make it even worth getting out of bed for, don't we? So hopefully, give Pep a ring. Tell him your predictions, pal, and tell him to pull his finger out. Come on, City! Have a good night, mate.
Forget Donnarumma.
See you later, guys. Thanks very much.